Mark Rogers TV, we're the voice of college football. So when I say voice of college football, I mean me. I mean our great contributors like Cam Underwood. And then you join the conversation as well with your likes and comments. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you love the audio to drive to work and that sort of thing when you're working out, iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, and Google Play. Just search Mark Rogers TV. And we look forward to releasing a number of format changes for you. And we'll get into those at a later time. So we've talked Gerald Willis. He could have a monster season in 2018. As you scan the field, offense and defense, Cam, who else maybe needs to be a breakout player, who needs to fill a role, or who do you think just maybe based on massive talent is going to be a breakout player?
Okay. Well, I mean, there's levels to breakouts and things like that, but you know, we've been talking about this for a while. So I'm just going to give a couple of names of some guys who might have a larger profile on the team this season than in years past. Number one is going to be somebody at quarterback, I think, either N'Kosi Perry or Jarren Williams, the top two rated players at that position. Perry is a redshirt freshman, talked about him a lot last year. Jarren Williams is a true freshman, U.S. Army All-American. He's going to be in his first fall camp or spring camp this year and going into the fall as an early enrollee. So I think one of those guys, I think DJ Dallas at running back / athlete / offensive weapon is going to have a bigger role. I think five-star freshman running back Lorenzo Lingard is going to have a big role. I think fellow freshman Mark Pope is going to have a big role. I think freshman Brevin Jordan is going to be the starting tight end and have a big role on this team. Also just stepping up, I think Navon Donaldson, who started at right guard for this team last year, he's going to have to step up a little bit. Also, Jonathan Ford on defensive tackle, Jonathan Garvin at defensive end, Nesta Silvera at defensive tackle. They're all going to have to step up. And then a couple of guys in the secondary. Trajan Bandy is going to have a bigger role. Amari Carter is going to have a bigger role. And then there's a few freshmen, Gilbert Frierson, DJ Ivey, Gervin Hall, who are all going to have roles on this team moving forward. So I'm not going to say that all of those guys are going to be your first team All-American type guys, but I think all those guys that I've listed are either going to increase the role that they had from last year, or for those freshmen, they're going to play some kind of significant role on this team. And I know that usually on some teams will say, oh, hey, it's, like last year I would have said, oh, it's Mark Walton, like a singular player. But Miami really needs a lot of guys to step up into the roles that have been vacated. Just into those snaps and, those catches, those yards, those rushes, things like that to replace what was lost. And then also, I know he's not really a breakout player in that you don't know his name, but Ahman Richards is a top 5 receiver in America. And I've said that, and I got some pushback from Miami Hurricanes fans for saying that, but I stick with that. And he was injured pretty much all of last year. And even those times when he was 80% and not 50%, he was still running away from guys. He was still jumping over guys. He was still that dynamic player that we know he can be. Yeah, his timing was off last year. Yeah, he dropped a couple passes last year. But Ahman Richards is a dynamic player. And even when he was, 60, 70%, he would be on the field and you would see defenses shift. They would just roll coverage his way because you had to do it because of the threat of him as an athlete. So I really look for Ahman Richards to have a healthy junior season and get back to that All-American form that he had as a freshman in 2016. So I know that there's a lot of names, probably more than any other person has given you, but across pretty much every position group, Miami has multiple guys who are going to need to step up, and those are the names that I'm looking at to do so.